Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Most loved versus most hated rock stars.
Hated by the world, and that's especially true for one of the most deplorable people in rock history, Axl Rose. Now, Guns N' Roses is generally loved, but Axl, he's got an abnormally long list of controversies, like the time he incited an actual riot. What might look like just an out-of-control crowd was the result of a show that started 2 hours late. Not only this, but mid-set, Axl spots a fan taking pictures and literally jumps off stage to attack him. When security doesn't kick the guy out, Axl then does this.
Thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home.
This led to immediate chaos. Over 65 people injured, alongside hundreds of thousands worth of damages to the city. But causing an uproar
That's an asshole, huh? Damn.
yes.
is only the start, because throughout his entire career, Axl's feuded nonstop with celebrities. In 1986, he hit a woman with a mic stand who just so happened to be the girlfriend of Bob Forrest from Thelonious Monster. When confronted, Axl attacked Bob and even ripped some of his hair out. Then in 1989, David Bowie allegedly hit on Axl's girlfriend during a shoot, so Axl responded by punching him and threatening to take his life. Perhaps the most infamous feud, though, was with Kurt Cobain. Axl was a big fan of Nirvana, and at one point wanted them to open up for Guns N' Roses. However, things took a turn when Kurt said this to Rolling Stone: "We're not your typical Guns N' Roses type of band that has absolutely nothing to say." And sure, this was a jab, but it definitely didn't warrant Axl's insane response. Alternative, the only thing that means to me is someone like Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, who is basically just a f***ing junkie with a junkie wife. And if the baby's born deformed, I think they both ought to go to prison. Yeah, pretty horrible behavior, but the opposite is true for rock legend Kurt Cobain. As the frontman of Nirvana, Kurt was the example of integrity in a scene full of asshole behavior. One of his most unforgettable moments was caught live when he noticed a woman being groped in the crowd. He stops the show, calls the guy out, and the cherry on top is the rest of the band joining in. And this wasn't a one-off thing. His diary revealed 6 of his
Wow. That's nice of him. I didn't know that. Wow. That's really dope.
own personal commandments, from not being sexist or racist to loving your neighbors and children. Kurt really believed in a show's being a safe space for everyone. Although, Kurt had a rebellious side too. During Nirvana's MTV performance in '92, he was explicitly told not to play the song with me. So Kurt, of course, trolled him with a few bars anyway. Another great example is when they went on Top of the Pops in '91 and were asked to use a backing track. After some back and forth, they did agree, but only if Kurt's vocals could still be live.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love how they're
Oh
zooming
my
in on the guitar that's
gosh.
clearly not playing anything. Kurt wasn't just a rock star, he was a revolutionary voice that still resonates today. And that's a stark contrast to someone we all love for years, only to find out he's a horrible human being. Now, before we dive into the serious stuff, Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers once destroyed an entire band's career over a petty feud. See, back in the early 90s, Faith No More released a music video where their lead singer Mike Patton leaned into the funk genre.
They're all assholes. We listen to all their music, but they're assholes. Wow, I was not expecting that.
I mean, now we know.
Patton was an experimental artist who always messed around with other genres, and it's something he's been praised for his entire career. Although, Kiedis didn't see it this way. He called him out for copying his style, threatened him in a later interview, and even went as far as pressuring organizers to have Patton's band drop from festivals. At the time, Faith No More was on a hiatus, and this was massively affecting Patton's main project, Mr. Bungle. So the group decided to clap back. During a Halloween show, they dressed up as the Red Hot Chili Peppers and did a legendary set mocking them. While this had some funny moments, it did go a bit far when they made fun of the Peppers' old guitarist who passed away from drug addiction. Patton may have pushed the line, but he was previously threatened while having his shows drop constantly. And Anthony did not let up. He successfully got Mr. Bungle dropped from a European tour, big day out in Australia, alongside postponing their album. Trevor Dunn, the bassist for Bungle, had this to say: "Everything you've heard about the Peppers screwing us over is true. I'm not sure why they did it other than a non-singer's jealousy. Ultimately, they screwed me out of a lot of money, for which I will forever harbor anger." Yeah, kinda harsh for a bad joke. But that's nothing compared to the most horrible thing Kiedis has done, which comes from his own autobiography. He recalls an encounter with a 14-year-old that came backstage after a show. He admits to sleeping with her and then taking her on
Did I say what now?
I was not expecting that.
And he just talks about it. That's not something like you don't tell no one. Like you just talk about it in your autobiography or whatever the fuck. What the?
on a road trip to Baton Rouge the next day. It's here where the girl reveals she's the daughter of the chief of police, is currently missing, and is only 14 years old. In Anthony's own words, here's what happens next. "I wasn't scared. I knew that if I told the chief of police she was in love with me, he wasn't going to have me shot. But I did want to get her home, so we had sex one more time, and she gave me an interesting compliment I'll never forget. She said, 'When you make love to me, it's like you're a professional.' As a lifetime fan, this was really hard to read. And since the release of his book, even more has come to light about the band. In 1990, Flea and Chad Smith assaulted a girl while filming.
How come is Red Hot Chili Peppers not cancelled?
Yeah, They did just perform recently.
Yeah, for the Olympics closing
Yeah.
ceremony. How are
People
they
have
not
short-term
canceled?
memory.
This is crazy. That's some crazy ass shit right here. What the?
Filming a spring break segment for MTV, they pulled down her pants, shoved her to the ground, while Flea allegedly demanded oral acts from her. Both were arrested and charged with battery, while Flea was also charged with solicitation to commit an unnatural act. Giedis' book is full of times they took advantage of young girls, all in the name of rock music, and it's honestly a shame to read. But Pearl Jam is the opposite of shameful, with a nearly perfect 30-plus year track record. Eddie Vedder treats his fans like family, inviting them to perform, making time for him in public, and one time he even left the stage mid-set just to give a fan a hug for saying their song saved his life. And Eddie isn't just known for being kind, he's also a badass activist. Back in '92 during MTV Unplugged, he wrote this on his arm mid-performance. Although they're probably most loved for their music, with even their biggest singles bringing awareness to social issues. Jeremy tells the story of a troubled kid and sheds light on mental health and school violence in America, while Even Flow is a nod to the homeless crisis. In fact, Pearl Jam cares so much about this issue that they did a series of home shows in Seattle that raised over $11 million to fight homelessness. But by far, one of the most badass things the band has done.
Well, I guess for every asshole in rock industry, there's one nice guy. I guess.
Really nice guy.
Yeah. Well, at least I hope so. There's one. They kind of even
One to
out.
one.
Yeah, but I hope it's not like for every 10 assholes, there's one nice guy,
Is directly taken on Ticketmaster. In 1994, Pearl Jam filed a complaint with the Justice Department and gave a 3-hour testimony for what they saw as a monopoly on ticket prices and fees. They tried to make touring more fair 30 years ago, long before most artists even thought about speaking up. And just like Kurt, Eddie keeps his shows safe. If he sees someone in the crowd in trouble, he'll stop the show in an instant.
Stop. Hey, mister. Hey, get your finger out of that woman's face. Clear out, mister.
Now, we've seen Rockstars do some pretty messed up stuff, but absolutely nothing could prepare you for who's next. Ian Watkins was the frontman for Lost Prophets, a band with a massive fan base. But behind the scenes,
You heard of them,
Lost
Lost
Prophets?
Prophets?
No.
No, me neither.
he was hiding things darker than anyone could imagine. And warning, the content here gets disturbing. This all started in 2008 when he was first accused of inappropriate actions involving children. Nothing came of it, but
I'm happy we don't know them. This is so ill. That's ill.
Oh, what the? Yeah, this is disgusting.
a year later, his ex-girlfriend Joanne noticed graphic material displayed in his dressing room. So she went to the police about this, along with other horrible things Watkins had told her, but again, they shrugged it off.
Starts off with him saying to me about all these 14-year-old fans that he'd abused and took the virginity of. And he'd also been saying that he wanted to get me pregnant. He wanted to get me pregnant just so that he could abuse the baby.
Between 2008 and
That's a super asshole.
That's just some fucked up shit right there.
2012, 6 separate complaints were filed against Ian. One from the parents of an abused child, and still somehow the authorities never investigated. It wasn't until 2012 when he was picked up for a small charge that police would find a disturbing photo of someone underage in his wallet. He pleaded not guilty in court, but this finally put him on the authorities' radar. Months later, Watkins was arrested again, but this time they had a search warrant, and what they found was truly horrifying. He was charged with 13 child offenses, including assault, alongside 27 terabytes of extremely graphic and illegal content. Perhaps the biggest bombshell, 2 women were also charged who had willingly offered their kids to Watkins. He's now serving a life.
You're lying.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
That's here in the States?
I know, I think in UK, because it says South Wales.
Life sentence, with the judge describing his actions as new depths of depravity, and the senior officer saying, he has shown no empathy or remorse. He's potentially the most dangerous offender I've ever seen. Yeah, some insanely sick shit. But we gotta end things on a lighter note with an absolute rock legend that brightens anyone's spirit.
The one, the only, Ozzy Osbourne! Thank you. Fucking love you guys.
Ozzy's known for trashing hotel rooms, biting the heads off of bats, and a drug history that makes him a genetic anomaly. He's had a 50-plus year
Real
career full
bats?
of legendary moments that have
I hope not.
Real bats?
I hope not. That's kind of gross-ish.
only solidified his status as a rock god. But his story's not all headlines, though. Ozzy grew up poor, dealt with dyslexia, and at 11 suffered inappropriate abuse from school bullies. Music became his escape, and it was actually the Beatles that led him to rock.
And then one day I was walking down this road and I heard the Beatles for the first time, and it was like,
This is how I know him.
wow. I remember singing,
Look.
that's it, that's what I want to do.
Since then, he sold over 100 million records, and as a frontman of Black Sabbath, helped bring rock mainstream. He created Ozfest to support up-and-coming bands in a dying genre, and did a reality show that gave a glimpse into his actual life, which made people just love him more.
What the fuck am I doing? Stuck on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, I remember the reality show. I don't think I ever like watched it. What I remember it was on E, I think.
Fuck is that?
Without Ozzy, rock wouldn't be the same. The guy's your favorite rock star's favorite rock star.
Wow. very eye-opening video. Like I didn't know none of this shit, especially the most hated ones. That's just
They're not hated enough because they're still very much
yeah.
active.
I don't. Well, one of the guys, the one from the band that we've never heard of, he's in prison, so for
Good.
life. That's good.
But that was because UK did not play.
Yeah, but
Obviously in US we play.
yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How are they not canceled? I
Can I see the
don't
comments?
know.
27 terabytes? That's a lot.
Yeah, whatever he said. My dad met Kurt in '93 after a concert. He said Kurt only said two things to him: "Nice hat."
Aww.
Fun fact: recently, Ian Watkins was tortured by other prisoners for several hours with a sharpened toilet brush.
Ooh. That was graphic.
Ozzy Osbourne, literally the guy behind some of the most iconic metal songs you've ever heard, and he was a victim of bullying his entire childhood. Wow.
And he looked like a big dude. Wow, guys, of course, let us know if you knew any of this information because this was very new for us. So, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.